gotta turn the air conditioner off. Now I know y'all like, why is this girl on here with her bonnet on? Gotta pull the white beater up, but I've been on my channel with my bonnet on before, and plus I need to wash my hair because I just took my braids down. But oh my god, I need to zip my hoodie up. Well, I really don't need to zip it up because if it slips down a little bit, y'all shouldn't be looking anyway. But hey, what's up, my little kiddos? I'm back with another video. So today I am going to be doing the video that I was gonna do on my 8th grade experience. Now, this is a really hard video for me to do, and I wasn't doing nothing just now, so I decided to do it so impulsively because I don't have nothing to do right now, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it. Beauty corner is still not done, y'all. I got LED. I keep on saying LED lights. I got some more fairy lights, but I'm not sure where I'm going to put them over here. So oh my god, you guys see the sheets and everything. I don't want it to be too close, and I definitely don't want y'all to see the mirror. No, I'm sorry. I'm not editing this video. I've been doing a lot of unedited videos because I just haven't been feeling like editing. Like real and raw videos like this, where you just get down to the whole thing and not cut out anything, and just basically real and raw edited videos are the best kind of videos. So that's really all I've been filming lately. This looks so terrible. Oh my god. Just ignore the bonnet. Ignore the bonnet, okay? And I'm about to get right back hot because I have on a hoodie and the air conditioner is making a whole bunch of noise. So that's the main reason why I turned it off and just put on a hoodie. So today, as you guys can see by the title and what I'm saying right now, is I'm going to be doing a video on my whole 8th grade year. So basically this 8th grade year, like I said in my I graduated video, it was really not good. It wasn't good at all. We weren't in school. It was virtual the whole year. We were supposed to go back a couple times out of the year, but they just never really got around to it, and COVID it started spiking in so many different ways. If you hear some cars roll by and they playing a whole bunch of music, loud music, I'm sorry, I mess up on my words so much. If you hear them roll past playing loud music, just ignore it. So my 8th grade year was definitely one of my worst school years I've ever had. And ranging from all the school years that I've had, the only good school years I've had, I would say 1st grade, 2nd grade, that's really it. That's all I can remember. My school years, I have very vivid bad memories from school. I was bullied. I was bullied in more than one way, actually. Actually, a lot happened, and I tried to forget a lot of it, so that's probably why I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But yeah, so I will be doing another video in depth of my whole middle school experience, but right now I'm just going to be talking about my 8th grade year in particular, because out of all my years in middle school, all 3 years, 8th grade would have happened to been the worst. I mean, I went through a lot in each year, but I would have to say that 8th grade was definitely the hardest year for me so far, because I'm going on to high school. So in 8th grade, like I said, we were virtual the whole year. I wasn't in school at all. If I like keep on looking to the side, I don't know. I wasn't in school, so it was very hard because I just had to sit at a computer for a couple hours. Like, where I'm sure y'all remember from like my day in the life video of going back to school like a couple months ago, almost a year ago. I was sitting right there where the where am I pointing to? Where the tote is, right there. Where the tote with the shoe boxes, right there. My desk was right there. I used to sit right there and do work, and then I think it kind of reached like a bad point where I started to sit in my bed and do work, because it was very mentally draining when I was sitting right there. I have really bad anxiety, so my anxiety gets triggered by a lot of stuff. I would definitely say I overworked myself a whole lot this year, to the point where it was literally painful to do anything. Now, with that being said, the first day, it went by quick. The first day of online class, it went by quick because we had a half day that day, so we got out of class pretty early. The teachers, they looked super sad. The students, half of us didn't even have our cameras on. I had my camera on for like maybe, I don't even know. I think I had my camera on the whole time. I did a video on it, like I just said. I did a video on it, and yeah, I'm texting somebody. I'm always texting somebody in my videos, but yeah, I sat right there, and I was trying to hold up the best way I could, because it was very, very frustrating, and I already wasn't excited for it. I wasn't positive for it. I knew there was a chance that we were gonna do online school and not be able to go back to school, because like I said in one of my videos, I think I stated this, but our 7th grade year got cut 3 months short. We had to do online school for the last 3 months of school, and it was optional. We could go to class if we wanted to, and I only attended like one class, but I still did all of my work, and I managed to pass 7th grade with mostly all A's and just like maybe like 2 or 3 B's. No, I think it was actually 1 B. So like, yeah, it was like really, like, it was really hard keeping up with my grades this school year as far as certain classes. Now, I'm gonna say this one thing: my language arts teacher and my reading teacher, she did not like me. She did not like me. Now, some people are gonna probably be like, how do you know if a teacher doesn't like you? She's just trying to teach you, and she doesn't like online school just as much as you do. No, you can feel when somebody has animosity towards you, and you can literally feel when somebody has negative energy around you, or they just don't like you. And I strongly believe that my teacher did not like me. You could literally ask my mom about the things she would say to me, the slick stuff that she would comment to me in class. I'm not gonna put it in the video because, like I said, I'm not really editing this, and because I don't have it anymore. Well, I probably have like a couple of other receipts in my iPad, but like I said, I'm not editing this video. So, yeah. Like, she would, like, if I would get to class late, keep in mind, I, like, throughout the whole school year, like, up until, like, no, like, the middle of 7th grade, all the way to the end of 8th grade, like, have strong symptoms of, I guess you could say, depression and anxiety. Now, I've had really bad anxiety since I was little. So things would get super hard for me, especially this year. My anxiety would get the best of me. My thoughts up here, they were just too much to handle. And at one point, I really thought about, like, quitting school, giving up on school, dropping out. But we're going to get farther into that because I can already tell that this is probably going to be a long video because, like I said, it's unedited. So, yeah. And I'm going to talk more about, like things that went on, like, around me with, like, friends and family and stuff. So, like I said, it was super hard for me to function during online school because I wasn't around my peers and I wasn't around my friends. So, it was really, really hard to do. Sitting at a computer for hours straight and trying to do work, it's overwhelming and it's very hard. It's tiring. It's not ideal. It's not normal. Now, like, adults with jobs that they have to, like, sit, like, there for, like, a long time and look at a computer, it gets overwhelming for them too. And they probably go through sort of the same things as we go through. And I'm not saying that it's just me that was affected by this whole thing. Kids all around the world had to stay home and do online school, and some people liked it and most people didn't, and I'm part of the group that did not like it. So, like, sitting at a computer all day every day for 9 months was not for me. I wanted to go back to school so bad. Some of my friends didn't, some of my friends did. Like, it was super difficult. The first day, like, getting back to the first day, because I know I'm all over the place with what I'm going to say. The first day flew by quick. We had a half day, but I was also really irritated with the whole aspect. As you can see in that video that I did last year about my first day of virtual class, I looked irritated. I looked unhappy. My energy was so off in the video. I tried my hardest to be positive about it, but there was nothing positive for me to think about because some people like online school, but if you really think about it, the majority of us do not like it. Now, some people just like it because they don't have to be around people and they probably, like, have really bad social problems and they just don't like being in the public eye and being in school. And then other people, they're just so used to the environment of, like, being around people to, like, learn. And some people, they do get tired of it. That's why I said some people actually like online school. But then other people, they're just so used to the environment of being in school and learning the regular way that we were supposed to learn. Now, I said I wanted to do online college, but I don't think so. And at one point, I was ready in, like, 7th grade when the coronavirus began to be more prominent in the news. I wanted to be home. Like, I really wanted to be home, but when it turned into, like, basically, what would I say, 7 or 8 months being home, I couldn't take it. I could not take it anymore. I had a lot of anxiety attacks, a lot of panic attacks, just basically getting trapped up there in a sense of being just unhappy. We couldn't leave our houses as much. The only time that we could leave our houses was to go to, like, grocery stores and stuff. But as far as, like, hanging with friends, traveling, it was hard. Nobody just wants to stay on the phone with a friend or a family member all the time. Like, you want to actually be in their presence and actually want to see them and speak to them. but we couldn't do that for a while. And then with me being so close to some of my family members and not being able to see them, that took an effect on me too. My best friend Nina, I couldn't see her for a while. And in school we would hang out every day, and like at one point in 7th grade I would be going over her house for something to do every other week. So that was a little bit of a different change for me. And yeah, and basically that summer of 2020, no, that I would have to say, I'm not going to get into too much detail about it, but as far as that summer, that is the worst my mental health has ever gotten. Now, mental health is a serious matter. When you're, how do I put this? When you're battling with self-consciousness, insecurities, self-image, self self-hatred for a lot of stuff, I already listed anxiety. And when you're also dealing with intrusive thoughts on top of that, it could be really hard to focus and get through the day and overall just live your life. And I felt like super trapped in my room, like where I am now. I felt super trapped in here, and like I didn't want to get out of bed. Some days I couldn't even eat. Most nights I couldn't sleep. So I would literally just be up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning just staring at the ceiling, and it's not fun. Crying 24/7, it's not fun. And I gotta say, it's the healthiest mechanism for letting things out, because at some point when you're like really down in a rut, then it's super duper hard to think of anything else that could possibly help you. Being productive isn't an option. Being motivated isn't an option. All you feel like you can do is cry. And the thing with drugs, it doesn't help. It only makes it a whole lot worse. So yeah, around that summer, my mental health had to be the worst it's ever been in my life. Now, throughout my whole life, I've experienced some pretty hard things, but I just have to say, like, my mental health got really screwed up there around that time. That plane is disrespectful, I'll tell you. So, like, yeah, and it takes a lot for me to get on here and talk about this with you guys, because like when an influencer or when like a YouTuber or like a digital creator gets on their social media platforms and is open with their audience about what's going on, it proves to them and it shows them that you can trust them. And I don't really have too much of a big fan base on all my social media platforms. I don't have like a lot of followers. I don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't have a lot of followers on my other social media platforms, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. But to the people that are watching, thank you for contributing to watching my videos and supporting my content. My watch just tweaked. I was right here on it. We're nearly sitting by it. So, like, yeah. It's really hard to get through when your mental health is like that, because you, like I said, you're already in a state of not knowing what to do about it. And it's just, like, kind of like up here, you don't really know what to think, because there's so many thoughts at once, there's so many feelings at once, there's so much just going on, where you just feel like everything is moving too fast and you just feel like you can't get a grip of yourself, basically. And that's mostly what I went through this school year. Now, the second day of virtual school, I had a full-on anxiety attack. I was sitting at my desk that used to be right there, and my my teacher, our gym teacher, he was like, so today is the day for gym, for us to actually start gym, and we didn't even do health classes or get to that part of class the first day. All I had was language arts, reading, and then social studies, and then we just got off of the computers. So when it was time to do that, I basically freaked out. I panicked because like the teacher, he was already like head on, headstrong. You need to do what you need to do so you can, so you can start with your grading and stuff, so I could start putting grades in the grade book. So I immediately started like getting worried because they said this school year, they said a whole lot of things were going to be different, and some aspects were different, but definitely most of the same stuff was the same. So like, yeah, he was already like, it's your grade, not mine. He was already like being super like, I wouldn't say forceful, but I would definitely say just basically already it already feels like pressure. So he had put the Zoom workout video on, and he was telling us to get up, and a couple of students did, but a majority of the students had their camera off. And I tried to do it, but I couldn't. Now, some people may like think you sound lazy, or you just sound like you just don't want to do it. No, when you're like super nervous and you like never really done something before, and well, of course I've done gym before, but like doing like that in like Zoom, it didn't feel right. It was super different. It felt irregular, and it was definitely something I wasn't used to. And with me thinking about it already, like I had to do this to like get a grade, because we got progress reports, what, like 4 or 5 weeks later. So, and my progress reports and grades were okay, but then they slowly started slipping, and I'm gonna get more into that. So like, yeah, I had a full on breakdown trying to get myself up to do the workout. And the teacher, he was already like disappointed by the end of the class. Like, I'm disappointed in you guys. Half of you guys didn't turn your cameras on. And they were so big about our cameras being on that it was just irritating at a point. Like, we understand that we have to have our cameras on so you guys can do attendance, but they say that they understand how it feels to be a student in a global pandemic, but they're not actually living it. Yeah, they're doing the teacher part, and it's still hard for them too to do this, but it's just a little bit more different when it comes to us students. So yeah, I just couldn't do it. Literally the second day of class, I couldn't do it. And I wasn't just giving up to be giving up and not doing anything. It was literally just nerves all over the place. I'm not really sure what I was thinking or what I was doing at the very moment, but it was super hard for me to like focus and try to do the workout. And with other days, I was like that too. I didn't necessarily like cry a whole bunch like I did on the second day, but I did a lot of crying throughout the school year, and I was super like emotionally distant and detached from a lot of stuff because of how the school year affected me. Now, like without the whole school year, when I said like I feel like my teacher didn't like me, I feel like she did not like me at all. I wouldn't call her Karen. I wouldn't call her that, but she just definitely gave off some of the, teacher trying to be beneficial to you, but not really helping, because I felt like she was one of those teachers that couldn't like catch what she was saying, because at sometimes she would be like trying to be like snappy at me, I guess, and she would like say that I was trying to be like snooty and snappy to her. Like when you're like really like distant from yourself and like not really feeling like yourself and not really aware of what you're doing and going through, it's hard to like put on your actual your own energy. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but like when you like not feeling like yourself, you're gonna start like feeling like you just don't know what to do, or you don't know what you're actually doing. And she would say that I would have an attitude and that I would just act a completely different way. And she would like ask me like, do I have to talk to your mother, or do we have to schedule like a parent teacher conference? And she would email my mom every other day at one point, and I was just like I have my mom texting me in the middle of class, why is your teacher calling me? Why is your teacher texting me? I'm like, I couldn't even tell you, because around that time when we started, like when that started to happen, I was like really out of it. I didn't want to do anything. I was in my bed doing class, so basically sleeping during classes and not really paying attention, turning in assignments late because like I was already like having like a little bit of a hard time when we were in school with keeping all my work together. But this year it was a whole bunch more. Like if you would get done with one thing and get some things off your back, then it's like other stuff piling up on top of it. And in each subject we had multiple things to do in each subject, so it was just all over the place and just on top of each other. I pulled so many all-nighters trying to get things done, and it was basically just flat out tiring and draining. And when we eventually graduated, I did not feel like it was real. I still felt like I had to get up still and do stuff in school. It honestly didn't feel real when we graduated, because like I stated in that video, we weren't necessarily going to get a graduation. They were going to do a drive-by through all of the students' houses and congratulate us and give us our diplomas, I think. So that was originally what was going to happen, and I was super upset by that because I wanted to have an 8th grade graduation. And the way the pandemic was, they didn't think we were going to go back to school anytime soon. So that really upset me. And yeah, so yeah. And back to my teachers, I wouldn't say I didn't like none of my teachers. I definitely had like maybe a couple teachers that I was okay with. Well, it was really just one, and that was my science teacher. She was free-spirited. She was some of the teachers and students thought she was weird because of how different and eccentric she was about science and just stuff. Our teacher, I'm gonna call her Miss D because that's what her last name starts with. She would like try to get the class in a happy-go-lucky mood. She had a whole bunch of pets in her house, so they would make a whole bunch of noises while she would like try to teach us, which made it funny. I really didn't have any problems in her class. Now, I had missing assignments in every class, but she was just never like really like rock solid on me, and just was never really like forceful and like pressuring me. She just told me, just do whatever you can, don't work too hard, don't stress yourself out. And that was like one of the perks of my school year was my science teacher. I wish she could be my science teacher in high school because I really liked the way that she taught stuff. She would she really let us do anything. If we didn't want to have our cameras on, then that was completely okay with her. She wasn't like, do this and do that and do this like all the other teachers. She was just a really kind, free spirited teacher. And a lot of people didn't like her because of the way she was, but like me personally, I felt like that was the class period where I could just kind of relax a little bit, still try to get work done, but just basically just relax my head, because language arts, reading, social studies, math. Well, my math teacher, he was okay too, but a lot of the stuff that he taught us, I didn't understand. I didn't understand like most of the stuff in my math time this school year, well, last school year. So it was kind of hard for me to adapt to math also. And I've always had like problems with math. If you really think about it, a lot of kids, their strong suit is in math, and a lot of people are good with math, but I always hated math as a subject. I always hated it. So yeah, social studies has always been one of my least favorite subjects, because they teach us about stuff it's history in social studies, so it's in the key name, history. They're all teaching us about like stuff that happened back then, and I was just super uninterested about it. And anytime I would try to anytime I would try to like bring up something and be like, are we going to work on this kind of curriculum? Are we going to try to do this? They always said like, it's like, how do I put it? They never really taught us about the stuff that actually needs to be learned. Like the stuff that they were teaching us this year, they're not teaching us anything new, and it's just kind of like boring. Like, yeah, you're supposed to do your schoolwork regardless of what they're teaching you, but I just don't think that a lot of teachers understand that a lot of the stuff that we're learning is like, the system is obviously outdated. Everything is outdated, and it's not up to what us kids want to learn now and what we're doing now. It's super outdated. The way that they teach math, they're gonna say it's all the same, but it's really different in a lot of ways. So yeah, and with reading and language arts, that had to be one of the hardest grades I had to keep up with, because of my teacher, because she gave us a lot of work. And another thing was, she used to like do I think she still does this like with her new class that's coming up, but we used to do no red ink journals. I'm pretty sure some people have heard it before, but no red ink journals is basically like, she gives us a question every day to answer, and she expects us to answer in like basically 6 to 8 sentences, when some of the questions were really just a simple sentence, and I got low grades for that. And I'm like, how do you expect me to write a full paragraph, like a full dragged out paragraph over what I did yesterday? And then some teachers will be like, well, you can elaborate. Yeah, I tried to elaborate the best I could, but if it doesn't fit the bar to how many words I need to write, then how do you expect me to do this? And why would you give me an F on it? Because I answered your question the best way I could. And I brought that up to her, and she basically just said, elaborate, talk about it more. I'm like, okay. That was like one of the only teachers that I really could say disliked, because of her way of doing things in the classroom. Was just, I didn't agree with it. Well, like, not in the classroom, over Zoom, really. I didn't like it. And the way the way that this teacher would talk to me, y'all, it was like definitely like a red flag. And I would tell my mom, she would be like, do I have to talk to this teacher? Do I have to say anything to her? Do I basically have to like come sit in one of your Zoom calls to see if she says anything? And I'm like, you can if you want to, because she emailed my mother so much. My mom just said, try to do what you can and try to do the best you can, and I did. And that obviously wasn't enough for that one teacher, and she would basically like threaten to like call my mom in the class, and I think she actually did before. And there was some days in class where I could understand why she would be like upset about me not like fully participating in class, was because in some days I was asleep in class, because when you're like up all day and you're trying to maintain your grades, do missing assignments, just basically cramming work in, it gets tiring. And like I said, I pulled countless all-nighters trying to stay up and do work, but it was hard to do. And then with and then a lot of like my relationships with people started to deteriorate. A lot of my friends, like basically a lot of the people that I called my friends, they deserted me. One of the people that I actually put on my channel, we don't even talk anymore. She basically kind of left me alone, and she would like pull like multiple things, and I don't I brought it up to her, and I kind of like confronted her about it like a couple months ago, and we still don't talk. So that took a little bit of an effect on me, because like when I get into like a friendship or when I start talking to somebody, it's really hard for me not to get attached, like super attached quickly, and I need to really stop doing that, because a lot of the people that I thought were going to stand by me for a long time, they really didn't. I have like 2 to 3 real friends and people that I just talk to occasionally. So yeah. And I feel like I'm missing a lot of topics. Oh yeah, about my mental health throughout the school year. I did talk about this throughout the video, but I was just not feeling it. Anxiety would really catch up to me some days. I really felt like giving up a lot of the times. I almost did many times, but like my best friend, she like kept on reminding me, it's okay. You're gonna graduate. You're gonna pass. It's gonna be okay. And like once I graduated, it came like full circle. Like I said, I really didn't feel like I graduated, and I really couldn't like take the time to realize like I'm really graduating, because I was just so drained from the whole school year that I just really didn't believe it was actually happening. So, and I still can't believe I graduated. So, out of how hard that school year was on me, I really did not think I was gonna graduate. My grades were okay. The first quarter, I had a lot of missing assignments throughout every quarter, but quarter 3 and 4 is really where it started to get harder on me. Like I had a little bit of a hard time in first quarter, hard time in second quarter, but third and fourth quarter is where it got a million times worse, because like I wasn't in tune with myself. I wasn't okay with a lot of the things that was going on with me. I was going through a lot of changes in my personality, and a lot of stuff was just going on around me. And some days I really didn't feel it anymore. School, it took a really bad toll on me. And then like around I think third quarter, my mom got sick with COVID, and I had to take care of her and do school. So I was already worried about my mom. And then you have my teachers, they're super hard on me about doing stuff that we need to do for graduating. Now, that, when my mom got sick, that was like maybe like 2 months prior to me taking a break from YouTube, because I took a break in December. That is really when things started to like reach like a really bad peak for me, because like as you can see in that video, I wasn't myself. I wasn't happy-go-lucky. I wasn't bright, smiling. I just wasn't okay. And to this day, I'm still not 100% back to myself, because things are still going on with me. I may not be in school right now, but yeah, I'm definitely not 100% back to myself now either. That's why I took so many breaks from YouTube over the span of quarantine, over the span of 8th grade school year. I took a lot of breaks from YouTube. I wasn't really posting much because I was trying to get myself to focus on my grades. And as much as I did try to get myself on the right track, it was still super duper difficult to keep up with. And it was really hard to do. And it was like really hard for me to the point where with like things going on with me then, and how things are around me, my environment, my household. Like, I'm not saying that anything like major happened to me, just I was like really out of it. Like I said, I had like a lot of symptoms of depression and like really bad anxiety, and my anxiety took over me for the most part. And at some days I really didn't want to live anymore. I'm gonna say that honestly and truthfully, because I just wasn't feeling like myself. I felt like nothing was gonna get better. I thought that I was gonna repeat the year because of how terrible my grades were looking at one point. I just didn't feel like going on for a minute. And like I'm a little bit better than that now. Like, I wouldn't say like I'm in the same, like, I'm definitely way better than how I was throughout this whole school year, because this whole school year really took a dramatic toll on me, and it changed me in a lot of ways. That's why I said that in that video when I was saying that I graduated and that I really didn't find anything positive about the school year, was because I didn't. The only positive, like I said, was me graduating and actually having a graduating ceremony and walking across the stage. Some days I could not eat. Some days I could not sleep. Some days I could not think straight. Some days I skipped class because I just could not do it. Like, I physically and mentally couldn't do it. And it's really hard. Some people are like, it's really not that bad. You're just sitting at a computer. You're just doing work at a computer. You do it. You do it for 9 months straight and see how you hold up. Now, some of my classmates, they were actually okay with it, and they actually did get through it pretty smoothly, but online school isn't for me. So I definitely have some more points, but this video is literally 20 minutes to being an hour long. And yeah, so, and I'm gonna be doing another video on my whole middle school experience, because this was mainly just about 8th grade, and I will be talking more about 8th grade in that video, but this video is already long enough. So thank you guys for watching this video. It took a lot for me to record this video. I'm surprised I didn't start crying, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye, my little kiddos.